Good evening, it's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it's Make It Monday. I have 4 projects to show you tonight. They are the class projects for classes this month, and I am excited about all 4 of them, so I hope that you enjoy them as much. This is pre-recorded because I have class tonight, so this is the Monday class and the one that gets pre-recorded. So I'm able to at least speed up some areas to make this a little bit shorter for you, but hopefully so that you don't miss any parts that are important. Just really quickly, I'm not doing a countdown tonight because, of course, this is pre-recorded, but I do always appreciate you liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you like my channel so that you can get notified when I have new videos up each time. But anyways, yeah, so I do try to do a giveaway each week, just for those of you that are participating, just to say thank you and to encourage that, because that helps me a lot. So, all right, so I'm going to just I'm going to tell you a couple things really quickly. If you're not on my email list, you'll want to make sure you do that. I will try to have all of my links in the comment for you so that you can pop on and make sure that you're on my email list. But we just got some new celebration items this week. So for every $50 that you spend or $100, you can earn free products, and they have added some things from the catalog. So there's embossing folders, there's dies, there's foil paper, great stuff. So if you got everything you wanted from the celebration catalog, or there's 2 items that did sell out already, and you might need some other things to choose from, we've got lots more things. So you can check that out. You can find that on my website, which will be shown in the next when we go to the next screen. But anyways, okay, let me pop over there and we will get started. So here at the top, you'll see stampincindy.stampinup.net. That's my website, and then this is the host code for this month that you'll want to use. And when you use that and you've placed a minimum of a $40 order online, you will get these 4 project packets. And when you spend $50, of course, that's when you start earning the free celebration items. All right, so we're going to start with this card, and it's a bit of a shaker card. I don't know if you can see the little beads in there that move a little bit. I didn't pop it up. I just wanted to make it like a really simple shaker, but my main goal was to show you this great stamp set, Bottled Happiness, and it comes as a bundle because it has a punch with it. It's hard to get me to show that right. Anyways, hopefully you can see that a little bit. And I love this set. I have used it a lot. I have not used it a lot in classes, and so this month I chose to use that in this class. The other set that I'm using is Quiet Meadow. I'm using just the dies from this set. There's sort of a mess in there, but I really love the silhouette type dies that are in that set. Okay, so I'm also using the paper called Texture Chic, and I did fail to bring that in here, but I have shown that before. So I am using a piece of that, and it's really difficult because wait till you see the other side of this. It's so beautiful. It's like I want to use both sides, which we are going to use both sides, I decided. The other thing that I did was I cut out all of my pieces. You can see here all these little pieces were cut from the center of this white cardstock. And I have also taken, let me just get rid of this for a second. I've also taken and put tear and tape around the whole edge. I'm creating this gilded gold look, but I don't want to use a whole 4 by whatever piece of paper. So I'm just going to peel this away, and we're going to pull in the our gold foiling. So let me just get that off of here. Okay, so this is our gold leafing, and I have mine put into this container, and I'll just show you how I did it. there we go. Let me just get rid of all this excess stuff here. I tend to gold leaf everything. All right, so there we go. Very cost efficient. And now I am able to have this piece that will, so I cut this. This piece is I think 4 by, actually, I think, okay, I guess I can tell you exactly. Yeah, this is 4 by 5 1/4. So this one is down 1/4 inch. So this is 3 3/4 by 5. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and take this piece. We're going to punch out our bottle from here. So I'm just going to bring this in from the bottom. I'm going to make sure it's even on either side. We're going to punch that. I'm going to save this piece though, because when I put this on here, look what happens. There's a hole in there. All right. So we would definitely want to cover that up so that we don't have to add another piece in there. And because I love the other side of this bottle, I can get the most miles for that. So that will go in there. All right, so let's go ahead and put some adhesive. I'm going to use my green glue because I want to put it exactly where I want the bottle to go, and I don't want to have glue everywhere. So I'm just going to put this here like this and add glue to the white piece underneath. And then I can just take this and sit it right in here. And I'll give that a few seconds to make sure it adheres good, and then I can pull up the front piece. In the meantime, I want to, I'm using this clear sheet, and you can either purchase the window sheets, or what I do is I like to save the pieces that come from my photopolymer stamps. I don't know that I brought any in here that aren't put together, but the photopolymers have a clear sheet on the front and the back, and the one piece is heavy, just like our window sheets. I think I just got glue on there. Anyways, there's usually prints on it, so I took an alcohol wipe and just wiped that clean. So I'm just going to cut a piece that's big enough to go on here. I want it on either side of my bottle there. So there's my piece. And I also want to make sure that I can hold in some little beads. We have these gorgeous little beads, effervescent elements, and they're so yummy. Now I did go through and picked out just the smaller ones for this because I'm not popping this up, so that I want just the smallest beads from there. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to add tear and tape to the edges of this. Okay, so I have my adhesive on here, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to make sure that everything is sealed off. The problem with this is it's really difficult to get a tape that's going to stick good. Our glue dots stick really well. This would not dry well on here, and Seal Plus might work okay. In fact, I might go ahead and just try Seal Plus on the front here, because Seal Plus is a very strong adhesive, and it does like to grab a hold of plastic well. So I'm going to just put that right around the face of this, and the side that doesn't have the sticky, I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to put this right on here. I don't want to be able to see, oops, I got some adhesive sticking out there. I don't want to be able to see the glue or the edges. All right, so I can stick that on there good. All right, now we're ready to put it in place here. Let's go ahead and get the adhesive on the edges of this. Because it's imperative that this is sticking good, I'm going to go ahead and cover the whole area. Okay, next we're going to take these And we're going to just pick out some of the smaller ones. I might have to pick out the big ones first. And this is a little tricky. You want to definitely have a flat surface because, as you can see, they're going to roll away. And I'll just take the big ones back off. I don't need a lot. I just want it for a little effect. Sometimes it's easier when they're in than when there's just a couple in the container. Okay, now without moving that, I'm ready to pick this up, turn it over. I need to line that up completely with my little bottle that I have on there, which should be completely lined up with my edges if I did it right? Now the important thing is to right away get this pressed down around the edge so that those little beads can't escape. Okay, there we go. You can see they can move around in there just a little bit. All right, so that's the difficult part done. Let's go ahead and layer this on our card base, which is Coastal Cabana. And then we'll finish the front. Okay, now to finish the front, I took these little pieces and I sponged them a bit. We're going to stamp on this piece. Let me just grab those. I'm going to use ink spots because in my class it's going to be easier just to have these Petal Pink, Blushing Bride, and Coastal Cabana. I'm going to just turn that over so I don't mix those two up. And then I also have my my sponge daubers marked, so Petal Pink, Blushing Bride, and that will help me. Okay, and I do need some scrap paper, so let me pull out my matte grid paper here. All right, so let's go ahead and add some Petal Pink to the butterfly. I just want to make it stand out, but I didn't want to put I don't want too much to steal away from the design of the paper. And then this one, I just need to pop out this little guy here. So I'm going to put some Petal Pink on here. I'm trying to, whoops, sorry, I forgot to turn my phone off. I'm trying to match the colors that are on here. Sometimes the colors on the printed paper aren't exactly like our colors because they've joined some together. So sometimes you'll have to use a couple of colors too. So you can see there how I've used Blushing Bride and Petal Pink to try to mimic, whoops, this color right here. Okay, and let's see, let's do that on these the same. I'm going to start with some Blushing Bride. And then for our green, we're just going to use Coastal Cabana, which is not really a green, but it matches what we're doing, right? Whoops, I just did that on the leaves, on the stems. That was good. Okay, little coastal. So they're all done. Then we just need to stamp my tag. And I'm using the stamp set, or the stamp from here that says Sending Cheer. So we're just going to ink that with, it barely fits on this tag. And the tag comes from, of course, the dies, the Quiet Meadow. This got a little bit bent. And like I said, this just barely fits on here. There we go. But I think it's good enough that you can tell what it's supposed to say. Okay, so I just want to have these sticking out of my jar. And I'm just going to snip them off here. Whoops. Okay. And then the little butterfly. So we can just add a little bit of green glue here. Let me flip these over. I'm not going to pop them up. We really have our dimension already here, so we don't need to add too much more to that. So I can get these laying back down here like I like. And then for the little butterfly, I might just pop him up. Okay, and then for the ribbon, I'm using, this is our white frayed ribbon, and it's frayed on the edges. So I just pulled out from the end, and I'm just using this piece. I just pulled it out and I thought, what can I do with this? I don't want a lot of ribbon on here. But when this started fraying for me, I was like, ooh, I like that. So I'm just going to snip a piece of that off. And I think it's going to be easier. Sometimes instead of sticking the ribbon through the hole, I will just tie it. And I might try to do this double. It's a little hard with this very fuzzy ribbon to tie a bow. But let's see if we can make that happen. See if I can find the strands that are supposed to be coming through here. Not sure that I can. There we go. I think that'll be good enough. That's a pull-through bow. And then I can just glue dot that right onto my tag. I don't know about you guys, but Stampin' Up! Had some of this glue dots coming through that had the glue dots on this side and some on this side. And I, of course, have some old ones, some new ones, and I'm not sure which is which anymore. And so when I'm doing it in here and doing it out at my table, it's always different. So I'm not ever sure where I'm going to find the glue dot. I'm just going to grab one of my large dimensionals and we'll pop this in place. And that will help hold, I didn't glue down here as you probably saw, so that will help hold everything in place when I stick that on there. So there's that card all completed. I hope that you like that one. I did want to show you a couple samples from the Bottled Happiness stamp set. I may have shown you some of these before, but I thought I would just sort of give you a little taste of all that you can do with this bottle stamp and punch. So just a really quick look, and there's one using the bottles that you can get and actually fill them up with those little beads. And then here's one I did with crystal effects on the bottle. Okay, almost forgot to show you those. All right, the next card is, we're going to do this Thanks a Bunch with sunflowers because we are heading towards fall. And I hate to jump into Christmas, even though I know everybody's ready to do Christmas stuff. But I hate to jump into Christmas before we do some fall. And I did not use fall colors on purpose. I still, because it's summertime, I wanted it to still be sort of fun and summerish. So I'm using the Celebrate Sunflowers stamps and dies that are in our annual catalog. They are not new. We've had them for a while and they're still fabulous. Okay, so I'm going to try to speed up things here. I have a couple pieces here. We're starting with this. This is the stamped piece, and I'm going to have to cut that. And we are just going to stamp all of these things, and then we'll cut it. I'm just using Memento Black. Let's see, can I add another one here? And maybe this corner looks a little bare, so let's just put that there. Okay, I think that's good. Oh, before I put this away, let me go ahead and stamp my tag, and then all of our stamping will be done. So this is Thanks a Bunch from the Sunflower set. All right, now I can put these away. 1 3/8. Okay, I will give you the measurement of this paper. It's very tricky when you try to cut things into 3. So the actual measurement of this piece is 4 1/8 by, I hope I don't smear this, by 3 1/8. And I'm going to cut this at 1 3/8 twice, hopefully. So there's one. I'm going on this side of my cutter, and then 1 2 3/8. The reason I want to cut this first is because I want to sponge each of these in a different color. 1 3/8. And I'm keeping them in order because I don't want to have to put a puzzle together later and figure out which one goes in which order. All right. So now we're ready to sponge these. So let me grab my inks. We're using Pool Party, Pacific Point, and Bermuda Bay, and I'm using my sponge brushes. So let's start with the Pool Party, using my light blue brush for that. You definitely want the ink to be dry, and I'm pretty sure that it's not. So I'm going to try to just be a little careful here. All right. I think I really like the fact that this is in Pacific Point, so I think I'm going to flip this over and stamp the other side because I don't think it's going to show too much. Okay, there we go. I'm going to throw these in. Oh, we're going to add some gems to this, so let me get those out instead of covering them up. All right, I'm just trying to get things switched over here so we can finish the card. All right, so we are using a Pacific Point background, and I did, ooh, I smeared something on there. Wow. All right, I hope I can cover that up. I'm just gonna see if I can get these edges off here a little bit because I know my cardstock doesn't go clear out there to the edge. Okay, I think that'll be all right. All right, and I did use the stitch rectangles to cut this as well as this. So we're going to go ahead and put that down a while. Yeah, that'll cover it, okay? No smeary hands. Okay, that's what happens when you use sponge brushes, because if you're not careful where you put them. All right, so the best thing I find out when you're putting 3 different pieces down is to line up both edges first, and then the center one will be just where it is, wherever space is left for it. Fortunately, after you have this designed and figured out exactly what size you need, it's way easier. When you're designing and trying to figure out what sizes you need to do, it's much more difficult. But that was easy. Okay, we need dimensionals here, so let's grab 3 of those. Okay. Okay, so last but not least, we want to add these pretty sequins, adhesive back sequins. They come like this. And we're just going to pop a couple of those on here. And I'll use my pokey tool. So we use green and blue in this, so I think an assortment of those colors will look nice on here. And there is a white. And so that white, you're going to see, I think, that it sort of shows through as it does reflect a little bit what color is on. So I think we'll be okay with adding a couple of those. Let's throw a gold one on there for fun. Okay, there we go. Isn't that pretty? All right, fairly quick and easy. Lots of pieces. I am going to stamp this and put it on the inside. I'm not going to take the time to do that, but you can stamp a sunflower on there. I have since this has been around a while, I have used the stamp set a lot. So I have to show you these gorgeous, gorgeous cards that we've done through the years. I think it's been around for 2 or 3 years, and I still love it. I'm so in love with this stamp set. Now we do have a paper pumpkin, and I'm trying to think, that is coming out in August, and you have to sign up for paper pumpkin by the by the 10th to get it. And it's got some flowers in it. And so I'm excited about that too. This is really pretty. You see this embossed background on there. So anyways, those are just a great set. Okay, the next project is this cute little owl card. And this is using the Happier Than Happy bundle and the paper that coordinates with it. And we are going to do a fun fold. So my Sahara Sand cardstock is cut at 5.5 by 7 and scored at 4 1/4. And let's go ahead and fold that. And then I have a white piece that will go here, and it's just like a 1/16 of an inch smaller. It is about 2 1/8 by 5 3/8. Let's go ahead and just pop that on here. Get these things out of the way. There I go again, sticking it down before I'm ready. When you've got them this close to the edge, it has to be just about perfect. Now, it's really hard to know which side of this to use. Isn't that cute? But yeah, it'll make it a little too busy with my owl, so we'll turn it over. And I just wanted a touch of white in there just to make this paper stand out a little bit more. Okay, and then for this side, I have a piece that is the same length, but the width is 1 3/4, just to cover up this piece here. And I don't want to take it in too far because I want to be able to write in here. And then this piece is from this paper, and it's only printed across the bottom of this 12 by 12 piece. So for my last card, you're going to see this paper again because I was able to use the rest of it on another card. But it's just printed so cute, isn't it? All right. Okay, so we have the base done. I made 2 tags from our tag dies. And whoops, I got 3 of them. And I want one here and one here. So we're going to score this, and I'm just going to make a little pencil mark right here. Actually, I wanted to tuck that under, and I forgot. Yeah, hopefully I didn't stick it down too hard. So I'm going to score on my little tick mark. And then I'm going to scoot over about 1/4 of an inch. Maybe I'll do 1/2 an inch just to make sure I have enough. And then we'll cut that off. And then that gets folded under, and that will get tucked in here. I'm going to see if I can't pull this back up. And yeah, I didn't put very much adhesive on there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more adhesive down here so that holds good. I'm going to go ahead and put that in place. I think what I'm going to do is put adhesive on the other side so that it tucks against there. I don't want to cover up too much of my pretty design on the bottom. So I'm just trying to get a hold of how this is going to go here. It helps if you do this before you have it all put together, but at least this way I have more of an idea about where it's going to go on the card. And then this piece I want to stamp. So we're going to stamp the thanks from this set in Early Espresso. And I just have my little ink spot again. Put that on a flat surface here. This font is very fine, so I'm trying to be careful I don't press it too hard. I got a little bit crooked. I think that I have my label on crooked, so it's hard to tell. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue that. I know that's not dry, so I'm going to be careful that I don't get that smeared. I'm going to go ahead and line this up here. and then I can press that down. So there, we almost have the front, or the base of the card built. I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus because we need to stamp a little bit. And I have this cute little owl guy all set up on here, and the little butterfly that we're going to use up here in the corner. Sorry for that light on. I'll sit that there so that covers that up a little bit. Okay, so we're using soft seafoam for the butterfly, and we're using early espresso for the owl. And I'm going to just pop them in here. If you need to see a video on how I set this up, just comment and let me know, and I will make sure I put the link in there for you. Push that back in the corner. Press. I don't have to press really hard. They're very small. And voila. And I'm just going to pop those babies out of there. Maybe. You try to do it without moving your piece, but it's very difficult to do. Okay, so let me get rid of this. All right, so now we're just going to use a little bit of this really pretty soft sea foam. It's like an organdy ribbon, and this is in the holiday catalog. And I just need to pop that up through there a little bit. And I'm going to cut this. And you could tie a bow here. I'm just tying a knot, just a loose knot. And maybe we'll try to do a square knot. We'll do a little trim, whoops. All right, so there's that part. And then I just need to, now that he is dry, hopefully, we'll pop our little owl. I think he just is so adorable. And then I'm going to use a baby dimensional here for my tiny butterfly that will pop right there. So there we go. How do you like that fold? Really simple. These little tags just really make this card easy. All right, let's go. Oh, I have a couple samples to show you for that one. I don't have a lot made with this set yet, but I have one that I think I did a video for you earlier using our split card texture dies. And then this one that we cased from somebody online. Barbara finished this one up for me and did her own little twist on it. It just looks so cute. It has the plank background on it. Okay. And here's our final card with the pumpkins and the little gnome. And we are using crushed curry. We are using the plaid paper, which I totally forget what that's called. Give me a second and let me just find this for you quick. It is in the holiday catalog. It is called Gingham Cottage. Lots of different check patterns there. And then also I told you about the paper from Happier Than, whatever that's called, the trees that was left over. And we're going to change that up a little bit with a leaf stamp. So, okay, so what I did was, this is 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2 and 6. I need to look at that because I can't remember. 6 3/4. This is 1 1/4 in here. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that over. The purpose of the 1 1/4 one is just to make this a book card. So it's going to open like a booklet rather than a card. This part's going to get glued down and it's going to open like that. So sort of nice if you want a square card, but you don't have square envelopes. So you've got this little border spine for your card. All right. So we are going to we're using 2 sets today, 2 bundles, I should say, the Kindest Gnomes, and the Hello Harvest. I'm going to turn this light down here, if that helps. So those 2 bundles for this card. And I'm going to go ahead again and just throw this card base together. That seemed to work well on the last one. And then for this little piece here, we are going to stamp that. Let me just go ahead and grab. You see it's just some tree looking, very bare trees. And so I'm going to use the color, looks like gray granite to me. So we're going to use some gray granite on there and just add some leaves. We're going to do some that are stamped off and some that are full stamped. I want this one full, I think. Whoops. There's the other side to that. Okay. So I think that looks pretty good. I never go back over, once I've stamped off the edge of something, I never go back and stamp it again. So even though I still have a little ink on there. All right, so now that piece is done, and we're going to go ahead and put that on our spine of the card. So it's going to have a little border. And then my ribbon, I wanted pumpkin ribbon, and we didn't have any, so I grabbed our pumpkin marker, and I'm going to start with the light one and see what that looks like. I'm not sure if that's going to be dark enough, but let's just go with it. Then we'll be able to compare the two and see which one we like best. So this is the light pumpkin pie, and this is how I color it with the alcohol marker, because it will dry permanent, and you're not going to have to worry that it's going to bleed into your card like when we did the regular markers. We used to always have to worry about that. That dries very quickly. And we're going to go ahead and tie that around the spine. And I'm just going to tie the bow near the top. There we go. Now, I'm going to come in here and just glue that part shut. It has served its purpose, and it now does not need to open. Okay, so that's glued shut. All right, let's go ahead and stamp. I'm going to pull in my Stamparatus, and I have it all set up to do 3 things at one time. I'm just going to scoot that out of the way. So I have it set up to stamp the pumpkin on here. So we're going to put that in here. This is the scallop from Color and Contour. And then this is the flower from, and this is the gnome from the Kindest Gnome set. Okay. So we are going to ink that with StazOn. Now the reason I'm using StazOn is because we're going to watercolor. And you all know with StazOn that you have to work fast. It dries fast. So I'm going to throw the ink on here, and we are going to stamp, boom, just like that. Pop that back in there. Give this a little time and pressure to come off. And we may have to stamp again, but that's okay. Yep, I definitely want the flower stamped again. The gnome I don't want stamped again, so let's pull him out of there. And I definitely want that stamped again. So we will ink just the pumpkin and just the flowers. Ta-da! Love it! Okay, now I have my handy dandy piece of cardboard, and I do not want the StazOn to build up on my stamp, and it will not wash off with water, so I can't use my my chamois. So I am just going to rough off any remaining black that's going to stick on there and build up. And then in between we will wash it as we need to. I have my Stays On cleaner that I use to clean those up, and I can get all that black off of there then, but I don't want to do that right now because we're going to all be stamping more of these in class. Trouble getting that stuff out of there. Okay, so we're finished with that. And the Stays On, I'm going to make sure it's closed with both of the lids on. And let's color. Let's do the pumpkin and the flowers. Well, we'll put all of them on here. I'm sorry, this is quite, my sides are messy. All right, so we're going to, actually, let's stamp this quick. This little hello is from, it's called Best Year. And, you know, I still pull the best stamps out of this set. Just this little hello is what I needed for on the tag. So I'm going to just, it wants to, like, not lay flat, so. There we go. Okay. Set that aside. All right, we're using pumpkin pie. I'm going to just set these colors out. A lot of these I have ink in already, so we should be okay with some of those. We have petal pink. Yep, we got some color in there, and some fuzzies, which we don't need. I always get frustrated when I'm coloring and I end up with fuzzies on my paper. There's a little bit of petal pink in there, and then we have some So Saffron. So looks like they all have some ink in, so that's good. I am missing Old Olive. Did I really forget to grab that one? It's all right, I'll grab it. Should be right behind me here. Okay, and that one needs a little bit of squeezing to get some color on there. So we have a lot of color to use. I know this looks like it's going to take forever, but hopefully it will not take too long. I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is this petal pink, which I'm only pretty much using for the little guy's nose. So I just need to wet my brush here. Let me just get, I got way too much water in that one, but that's okay. We'll use it out of there for the rest. So his nose, and I'll get in here and get his little bit of face there. And I'll go ahead and do his hand. And I might come back and use that for some of my pumpkin, but mostly I want to start with my So Saffron, and I'm going to pull some of this water that I had over here, and I'm going to just fill in this really quick with some yellow. And I have, I just did a video for you using this pumpkin on watercolor paper, and you'll see we're not using watercolor paper here. So if you would like to see, I'll show you the card at the end, and then I can get you the link to that one if you'd like to see that. It's on my YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure I just put that on there this week. So just a beautiful pumpkin. I love this pumpkin. Okay, we're going to go into some darker yellow here real quick. Let's just highlight with that. This is going to be an orangey yellow pumpkin. Yellow makes a really nice base for red if you've ever taken a painting class or anything. I did some toll painting before I was stamping, and in order to get a good red, you had to put down yellow first, which is very interesting to me. I would have never ever thought that. So I'm hoping that putting down a base of yellow here is also going to look really nice for my orange. We shall see. It's worth a try, right? And of course, I'm not worried about this ink running because I use Stays On, and that's a permanent ink. It's great for watercoloring. Doesn't work with blends because they're both alcohol based. And I just want a little more water there. Okay, now we're ready to pop into the orange. Okay, so now I need to grab, where's my old olive? I want to grab a little bit of this old olive, and we'll just do the stem. I think you're not going to see the stem, but depending on what you decide to do with your card, you might you may choose to do totally different than I have it here. So I want to make sure that you have an idea there. And there's some spots that I missed here. I'm just going to come back in and put some heavy pumpkin pie on there. Okay, now we're finished with that one. Let's go to the flowers. And this is where we're definitely going to be using some yellow for these beautiful, maybe black-eyed Susans or something like that. Sunflowers, whatever you want to create them to be. I'm going to go ahead and color him right away. Hope that I didn't totally destroy it because I don't want to stamp another one for you. Maybe you shouldn't have your everything laying on your spot that you're stamping, especially when you're as messy as I am. All right, his beard's going to be a little bit messy, but I think we can come back and fix that. Okay, let me move him over out of the way. Okay, I am going to maybe just do a little bit of orange in here. Okay, I think that's going to be really good. Now we're down to this guy. Let me bring him back in here and we'll try to fix him up. I'm just going to get a little bit of color off of here. Okay, so let's color. I'll go ahead and use the green while I have that. His pants. Wow, I am really messy today. My goodness, I can't even color straight. All right, let's see. What else do I need? Oh, shoot, I forgot. I forgot the band on his hat here. Make that a little darker where he's holding it up. All right. Okay, let's do his jacket. I'm going to pull in my gray granite. Let's see if I have any color. Need some color on the lid there. Well, I didn't get very much, but hopefully that's enough to do his sleeve here. See if I can cover up the mess that I made. Okay, all right. He doesn't look terrible. I'm really sad that I messed it up, but okay, I think I have everything colored. We can put together. I'm going to just close these pads. You can see these components look so beautiful. I'm just so excited to see how this is going to look when we're finished. Let's go ahead and glue this completely down. It's still a little bit wet. I could take my heat gun and get that to flatten out, but I'm going to put lots of adhesive on here so that hopefully it will flatten down to my card well. Just going to center that right and left, top and bottom. And then my flowers, I'm sorry I'm going to cover that up because I like that stem. It looks really cute. Maybe I'm going to try something here. I sort of want to see all these flowers. So maybe I'll just put this a little different. What do you think? Let you guys vote in a minute on which you like best. And then this little guy's going to get popped up with some dimensionals. And before I stick him down, I need to remember to put my tag on. And this tag was cut with our new stitch shapes. There's another word that goes with that, and I can never remember what it is. And I'm going to put one more little dimensional here so that I can make this have a little bit of shape. Is that where I want it? I might want to scoot it over just a hair. I sort of want this to curl. So let's see, where he's going to sit is here on the pumpkin. And I'm covering my flowers up. Let's put it up here so I don't cover my flowers up. How's that? Got a little curl to him. There we go. Okay, so that's different from my original, which is here. Let's put them side by side. So here he's sitting on all the flowers. Here the flowers are cascading down the side. Anyways, I think they're both cute. Which one do you like best? I'd like to see more flowers. All right, I think that's it, guys. Again, don't forget that a $40 purchase online using the code here at the top will get you these projects by the, your order needs to be in by the 15th, because otherwise I can't promise that there will be enough of these to go around. So if your order's in by the 15th of this month, you'll get these packets of projects. Okay? I do want to show you, I fixed him. I couldn't stand the messy, the messed up guy that I smeared. So I redid him, and I think that looks so much better. Anyways, I promised to show you some other cards. So this is one that was done with the gnome set. Linda did that one for me. This is the one I showed in the video this week. So that's on my YouTube channel. And I will try to link that in the comments below as well if you want to see how the watercoloring works with watercolor paper instead of just white. And then this is one that I had done something like this before, but I couldn't find it. I think I sent it to somebody, so I needed to redo that. And that's with the dies from the pumpkin set. Just the dies. They have some embossing on them just for a fancy look. And then finally is a decor project that I have ready for my class in November. It's a Friday night in November, the 5th, I believe, at my Rhodes Grove retreat. And just going to give you a quick preview of this. I'm going to try to turn it so that those lights aren't glaring on it. So one more quick view. Isn't it cute? So yes, this class is still available while supplies last. If you need more info on that, please let me know. I might do a in the mail version if you cannot attend that class. So just give me a holler, let me know. You can leave a comment here, or you can message me on Facebook, Cindy Fodor Stamper, or